Hello, in this video I'll try to show you how to put your model into Beat Saber. Um, well, first you need to model. I will be working with the VRM that I created in Void Studio, and if you want you can either browse the Void Hub or Booth PM, where there's plenty of more Void avatars that you can buy and use. There are some that are actually for free, so if you just put it to 0 yen, then you can browse models that are for free. I suppose there are plenty of other sites where you can actually find models. The models should be rigged. If you don't know how to create a rig, then you need to look for a rigged model. So I'll use one of my own. Well, Unity, from which you will be importing, creating the avatar format avatar. Sounds terrible. Doesn't really work with VRM unless you actually force it to with Uni-VRM, for example. But it's better to import it to Blender, because there you can edit the model any way you need to, and you'll probably need to do some editing, and then you import it to Unity. So first you need Blender, that you can download from blender.org. So you download that, install that, and then you will need one more thing, and that is Blender plugin, which is a really great plugin. You can download it from the GitHub page. Find one that is actually compatible with the version of Blender you have. And how do you install it? Well, that's quite easy. You'll find preferences in Blender, and there's add-ons which should be already, you should see it like this. You click on install, you find the zip file, so don't extract it or anything. You find Blender plugin, you click on install add-on, it will install, test, and then you'll see it checked like this. So it's there. You can access it from the layout window if you press N on your keyboard, and this will show up, and you've got here the, well, what you will use. So you can import the model, and I will import my avatar of me, even though it's white haired. I'm not white haired yet. My hair is pitch black, even though it's starting to get gray. I got a gray hair here and there. It might take a while. Okay, so the model imported, and you don't see any textures, and you don't really see any bones, or at least something that looks like a bone. So you click on the fix model, and it will actually look like a real model. Now you've got all the textures, and you've got the bones that look like bones. Here, if you're doing full body tracking, you may need to actually move the bones around a little bit, or just create, edit the pose. You can do that with well, what you need to do is enforce it so the bones are actually aligned, which you can just rotate the bones where you need them, like this, for example. can just play with it a little bit. Not this axis. But this is something you will find out later in Unity, because you will be able to see how the avatar moves after you apply everything you need to. What you should or you don't need to, but otherwise then your avatar will have, you know, like fingers like that, like you see it here. You should create a closed fist if you want the avatar to hold the sabers. So I will do that. You'll do that in the pose mode that I was in just a while ago, and you will rotate the bones in the same fashion I did just a little while ago. So I'll try to do something real quick, something that resembles a fist. You just rotate each bone. Well, I'm not really sure how the closed fist should actually look like, so you can play with it a little bit. I mean, you'll be moving fast, or your avatar is going to be moving fast. It will look terrible, but I don't want to spend ages here. So I'll just rotate the bones a little bit, so it looks more or less as I want it to. Anyway, when you're done with the pose, you click on pose to shape key, and it will hopefully save. And then you'll just clear or use transformations and stop the pose mode. Now you can export your model, but it's if you will click on it, it will tell you that your model has maybe, well, mine has 40 materials. If you have more materials than 4, then it will show you this. It's actually good to atlas your materials, so you have 1 texture or 2, because it will save you some time. You will have to load the textures in Unity. So here under optimization, you can generate the material list, which will show you those 14 textures, which in theory you can see here, but whatever. And then you'll just save the atlas to somewhere. So I will save it, and then it will look like this. So yeah, I mean, for example, this is the body texture, this is face texture, this is the t-shirt, this is mouth texture, blah blah. It will just put everything in one file, and then you just need to work with one texture. There are a few more things that most probably won't be needed if you will be using void character, which if your avatar would have more than 70,000 triangles, then you should decimate the model, so it would lower the number. The ideal number is like 32,000, and you can use some of these options to do that. If you will use full, then it will get rid of all shape keys or blend shapes that are there. So well, in Beat Saber you don't really need them. Anyway, well, okay. We'll probably don't use these in Beat Saber, so I won't really talk about them. Anyway, now we can export the model. I will save it as a random tutorial. Yeah, now comes the funny part. Well, there's now Unity. You can download it from Unity3D.com, and the thing, what you should do is actually download the Unity Hub, which is actually a pretty cool thing. It probably won't let you install the Unity without it nowadays. So when you get the Unity Hub, you create a profile and you get the license. Then you can download any previous release. You will need to use a very specific one, which is written somewhere. Well, yeah, actually clicked on. I shouldn't have. It's Unity 2018 1.6 F1 6 F1. So you find it here somewhere. Somewhere at the bottom. It's this one. You click on the Unity Hub. It will open the application that you just downloaded, and it will install it. I already have it there, so it's not going to do that. When you have it, you will also need a project, the Avatar project. That can be downloaded from this address, ps.assistant.mu /avatars/resources unity project.zip. So you download that. You will need to unzip the content somewhere. I made a folder called Unity project, and you copy it there. I'll just say tutorial. Okay, didn't really. And then in Unity Hub you will add it. You'll find your tutorial folder, select it, it will add. Here you will choose the correct Unity if you have more than this one, and open it. It might take a while. Come back to my screen, come on. So we've got the CustomAvatar DLL here, and some templates. Template for full body, for avatar, and shaders that we'll need to use. In the assets, this is the place where you want to import your avatar, so you just import it there, or you can just drag it there from anywhere. And it will import. Well, here you need to change the rig type to humanoid, and you apply. If everything will be okay, then you won't get any kind of errors. If you get any errors, then here, if you click on configure, you'll have to fix all the red dots that are there. These bones are not necessary to actually have. The rest is actually should be there. I'm not really sure why there's upper chest, because in any kind of IK that I worked with, there has to be like no bone there, otherwise it doesn't work. Um, anyway, well, if everything's green, that's great. Animation, don't care about that. And materials here, you click extract materials and you extract them somewhere in your folder. So you create folder named materials and you extract a material. Well, what I do then is that I copy my texture from Blender there. It will show up there. And if you click on the body, like you see this little arrow down, you can set the shader and the texture. You need to work with Beat Saber shaders, otherwise your avatar will just glow white and you probably won't be able to see it. So there are several ones that you can use. Since I want my avatar to glow in the dark, I use the unlit glow. If you don't have a texture with transparency, then you can use the unlit glow, and if you do have transparency, then use the cutout deferred or whatever how it's pronounced. So I will choose that, and I will choose my my texture, and you can see that my model is textured. If you drag it here, then you can see it's kinda dim for some reason, and the reason is that Unity sets the base color to gray, so you set it back to white if that's what actually you used as a base color. I use white usually, so set it to white. What else? Well, now we can start creating some game objects, I suppose. So here in the hierarchy window, you create empty game object. You name it whatever your model is named. So brand tutorial in this case, and you create a bunch of more empty objects. And I forgot to actually change the position of the object. It should be at 0, 0, 0, but it's already there. And you specifically name them, so you need to have a head, you need to have body, you need left arm, which is left hand actually, and right hand. If you'll be doing full body tracking, or you plan to use it with your avatar, then you need few more, and that's pelvis, left leg, I think, and right leg. It's probably foot actually or something. Well, it's written in my tutorial. I'm glad that I actually wrote it, because it's nice to have something that you can come back to. Okay, it's a leg. It's a leg, but it's on your foot. Well, then you also need your model that will be part of that game object. So you drag it in the scene, and oh, come on. You position it to 0, 0, 0. Come on, just keep the name same. Here you also need correct scale. So what I do is you can either take the custom template avatar which is there, or you just create a cube. That's probably easier, and you set it to some human height, and you place it at 0, 0, 0 point as your avatar. So now you can see that my avatar has the correct height, so I don't need to actually scale it. But if you download an avatar or download a model from somewhere, it can be tiny or it can be big. So you can scale it. Well, you just click on your avatar here. You either change the numbers or you click on scale, which is somewhere here, and then you can scale it. You know, like make it small, make it bigger. No, I'll get rid of this. I don't really need that. When you have it scaled properly, then you can just get rid of the cube or just hide it. It doesn't matter. So now that this is done, you can grab your model and drag it into the object that you created. Now for all of these things you will need to kinda forgot. Well, you actually don't do that yet. You need to place each of these to where the trackers are. So, well, the head is somewhere where your HMD is, which is supposedly somewhere sitting on your nose and eyes. So that's the body should stay at 0, 0, 0. Left hand. Well, now maybe you want to actually see the closed bits. This is something I forgot to do when I was recording a video of this avatar working, but I forgot about blend shape. Well, there should be skin mesh render, and there you should be able to. That's strange. You should actually be able to see the blend shapes. Okay, here. And you set it to 100, so it will show what you actually did. Okay. Well, these are blend shapes for eyes and mouth. So now you can correctly place the hands. It should be, you know, somewhere where the saber is, like in the middle of that thing, inside, and it should be also a little bit in front of your avatar. You'll have to find where exactly, because for some reason for my different avatars it was somewhere else. Like the distance on the z-axis was different. That's one thing you should do. The other thing is that the y arrow here axis should point toward the wrist. So you need to rotate it somehow like this. You have to do this for the other hand as well. For the right one, you can copy the values, or well, you just click on copied component and you can paste it as a value. It will place at the same place, but if you just get rid of the minus here and here, you'll get what you want. Then, well, you've got pelvis. Well, I'm not really entirely sure where it should be. It should be at where your tracker is, so in my case it should be somewhere on the back. And left leg, well, is on the instep. It is the tricky part because you need to position it correctly. You know, like yeah, like you see it here. The y should point forward and the z-axis should go up, and I never know how to correctly do that. Yeah, I'm really silly because that's probably something that should be written in the guide. Okay, so this is correct, kind of. You should move it to the place where the actual tracker is, and then you should also change the rotation a little bit so it goes, you know, also in the correct way. Like the Z you see should go upwards from the tracker, the way how it is on your leg, on your foot. So more something like this, more or less. No, 100 maybe. Yeah. And you do this for the right leg as well. Nope, I didn't really want to do that. Copy, you paste it here. I don't usually do it because I usually messed it up. Anyway, you delete the minus, and voila, you got it. Now you just drag the model there. Now for each of those things, you will need a target. So you'll navigate the armature and create empty game object. So I got leg one here, and I will drag it to the left leg, I guess, and rename it left leg targets, and you do this for everything else. So got okay, left hand. Hopefully I can type. Right arm, right elbow. You've got a hand. Where's my right hand? It's too far away. Here. Whoa. We've got pelvis target, and we still need a head. Somewhere on the spine is a neck, and there's also a head. With all the eyes and hair, bones. Okay. hit target. So you can see that the targets are somewhere as they should be. Well, in the case of my avatar, the targets are not actually rotated correctly, and the bones are also not. So, but you'll see. Most probably. Anyway, when you have all this, then you can add components to your model. And you will need VR-IE that you shouldn't need to actually touch at all, and IE Manager Advanced if you want the full body tracking. Now what you need to do is drag the corresponding targets to the fields here. So you bring the head, you bring the left hand, right hand, and if you're doing full body tracking, then you'll also drag these: the pelvis, left leg, right leg. And if you want to use these, you also need to set position weight, the rotation weight, which controls the how much motion we actually need for the avatar to follow. So it should be somewhere close to 1, but I don't want my avatar to rotate that much, but I want it to move quite a lot, so you can set it to something like this. So in theory now everything should work, and maybe it won't. So you click on play here to see what happens, and you will find out that something's really wrong. Maybe I I managed to flip the targets or something. Anyway, if you drag, you should see that your avatar moves, and that's correct. You know that your avatar will move somehow. So if I usually mess up the right leg target. So there is one thing that is kinda wrong, and those are these rotations. So you can see if that actually helps or not, and you can see that it somehow helped. So you have to do this for the other leg too. And now if you click on play, then you will see that the legs won't be twisted and entwined. It's just one leg is actually working. Yeah, it's because I deleted the target for the right leg. Here. Now it should move again, and now you'll see that my avatar moves, and it also moves the legs. But when you're doing full body tracking, there's a option that you should uncheck. There's in the IK, VR-IK somewhere. No, not here. Here. There's plant feet, and you should uncheck that, because then you can actually lift lift your foot off the ground when you're in VR. Yeah, that's it. Now you actually see that everything works, and you're almost ready to export your avatar. If you want to export your avatar, you need to add two components to the game object you created, and that's avatar descriptor, which can, where you name your avatar, you write your name. You can create a cover image. Well, I probably don't really have one here, but well, can create one real quick. You save it somewhere in the project. Well, I'm not really sure in which project I actually saved it. So I'll just copy to the correct one. It should show up, and here what you need to do is to set it to 2D sprite. And you click on apply, and now you can drag it there, and it will show up in Beat Saber. You'll also add another component, which is event manager, and you can leave it empty if you don't know what to do with it. And then here there's avatar exporter, and you just click export ren. And you have to save your scene. Well, and that's it. Now we've got an avatar which is ready for full body tracking. Now you just need to put this into your custom avatar folder in Beat Saber, and just choose it, and don't use the full body calibration, because that seems not to work, or at least doesn't work with my avatars. And you might find out that your avatar will be twisted in the game, and that's because I'm not really sure why it happens, but you can fix it by using OpenVR input emulator and setting your device offset for the hips. You set the pitch to a value that will actually unroll your avatar. In my case, with this what I just showed you, I have to set it to -90 degrees, but the value is different for different avatars that I tried, that I downloaded from the internet. I'm not really sure if my tutorial actually talks about this. Maybe I should write a note there about that. If you won't be using full body tracking, then you don't really need to care about these offsets, because it will just work as it is. But with full body tracking, you'll have to fiddle with the offsets a little bit. And then I can show you the video I recorded that I want to use in this tutorial, but I kind of forgot about the closed fists and didn't set them. No, that's a magic video, I'm sorry. And damn it, it's here. And so that's my avatar in the game play. Thanks for watching, and I hope that this actually helped you. I'll try to write the links in the description below. I will find the guide so you can follow it. Good luck!